I don't know what to do.
When Morenike agreed to meet Adebayo, she did so with a heart divided against itself. Part of her wanted to walk away forever. Another part remembered the man who had stood beside her during the rainstorm, the man who had carried heavy cartons without complaint, the man who had listened to her dreams as though they were treasures. They met beneath a large almond tree in a quiet corner of a public garden. Adebayo arrived early. The confidence that usually accompanied him was gone. He looked like a man who had lost his way. When Morenike approached, he stood up slowly. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The evening breeze moved gently through the trees. Finally, Adebayo broke the silence. "I am sorry." Morenike looked at him but said nothing. "I never intended to hurt you," he continued. "I was tired of being loved for my money. I wanted someone who would see me for who I am, and so you lied to me," she replied quietly. Adebayo lowered his head. "Yes, I did, and I regretted it every day." There was no excuse in his voice, no pride, no attempt to defend himself, only regret. "My father warned me. He told me that lie, no matter how noble its purpose, remains a lie. I understand that now." Morenike sighed deeply. "You took away my right to choose, Adebayo. You decided for me what I should know and what I should not know." Tears gathered in his eyes. "I know." She looked at him carefully. The expensive watch was gone. The fine suit had been replaced by simple clothes. For the first time since discovering the truth, she saw not the wealthy businessman, but the lonely man beneath the wealth. Her mother had once told her, the river that forgets its source will dry up. Adebayo had made a mistake, a painful one, but she could not deny the goodness she had seen in him. His kindness had been real, his laughter had been real, his affection had been real, and his remorse was real too. She sat beside him. "Adebayo, trust is like a clay pot. Once broken, it can be amended, but the cracks remain." He nodded slowly. "I will spend the rest of my life earning your trust again, if you allow me." For a long moment, Morenike said nothing. Then, gently, she reached for his hand. "I forgive you." Adebayo looked up in disbelief. Tears rolled down his cheeks. "I am willing to try again." Joy flooded his face. At that moment, the burden he had carried for weeks lifted from his shoulders. The old people say that when the heart finds peace, even the winds sound like music. From that day onward, Adebayo no longer hid who he was. There were no more secrets between them. He introduced Morenike to his father, Chief Adeyemi. The old chief welcomed her warmly. He saw in her the same honesty and strength that he had once seen in his late wife. As their relationship grew stronger, Adebayo quietly helped Morenike achieve the dreams she had shared with him. But he did not simply hand her wealth, he respected her dignity. Together, they expanded her small bookshop into a thriving bookstore. Her younger brothers returned to school and received the education she had always dreamed of giving them. The burden she had carried alone for many years became lighter. For the first time in a long while, her family knew peace. Months later, Adebayo proposed to her beneath the same almond tree where she had forgiven him. With tears of joy in her eyes, she said yes. Their wedding brought together people from every walk of life. Wealthy business owners sat beside roadside traders. Important men sat beside ordinary workers. Morenike insisted that the celebration should honor the people who had stood by her during her difficult times. It was not the grandeur of the wedding that people remembered. It was the love. Years later, Morenike established the library she had always dreamed of building. Children filled its hall with laughter and curiosity. Her brothers grew into successful young men who never forgot where they came from. Morenike and Adebayo lived happily ever after. Thank you for staying tuned, and if you have not subscribed to our channel, please do well to subscribe and turn on your notification button so that once we drop our videos, you'll be among the first set of people that will listen. Thank you and bye-bye.